Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. That's right. Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Come on in, pull up a chair. Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again. This is the Duct Tape Studios, as I mentioned, and I am your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, which is brought to you by, amazingly enough, thegaminggang.com. My name is Jeff McAleer. Thanks for taking time out to join me tonight. So tonight is Thursday, May 18th, 2023. This is live stream 921. If you are not familiar with this show, let me point out, super casual around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news and taking a first look at a tabletop game. Every once in a while, I'll do live reviews, but for the most part, most episodes, we're taking a first look at something. And that will be the case tonight, as the Cyberpunk RED Week draws to a close with a look inside the latest supplement for Cyberpunk RED, Black Chrome. Plus, as a bonus, we'll take a peek at the Netrunning Deck. So we'll be taking a peek at this a little bit later as well. Once again, if you're not familiar with this show, let me point out, we tackled the tabletop gaming news first. So if you are tuning in for that first look at Black Chrome, let me point out, probably be about 40 minutes before we get into that live look. So if you're hanging out live, kick back, relax, put your feet up. It's probably been a long week. You're almost to the weekend. Of course, if you happen to be watching 30 minutes or more after the show ends, there are timestamps. So if you're impatient, you can jump ahead to check out that first look. Those timestamps are located in the show notes. And depending on the device you happen to be watching this on, those timestamps might also be right there in the timeline of the video. So you'll have to take a peek. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you will not find here on the Gaming Gang YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Lastly, this is a live stream, so that means there is chat available. Not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. And you have to be a subscriber to the channel for at least 48 hours before you can take part in chat. Yet another way that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, maybe you've got a question, a comment, maybe there's something about Black Chrome you want to get a closer look at, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. So first out the gate tonight is one of our chat moderators. That's right, the Motor City Madman is with us saying howdy, as well as Game Master's Hobby Testy Trekkie is also with us, as is Flaming Huron, another of our chat moderators. So welcome aboard, everyone. We'll mention this is the first Thursday stream in years. I want to say, I don't think I've done a Thursday night stream since before I had a stent inserted. And of course, I've had a triple bypass since then. So there is that. So it's gotta be 4 years maybe since I had a Thursday show. Because when I first kicked off, this was not the Gaming Gang Dispatch, this was the Daily Dope. And too many people, for whatever reason, thought, well, this must be a pot smoking show. So I changed the title to the Gaming Gang Dispatch. So now there is no confusion, but it has been quite some time. Yeah, when I started off, I was doing Monday through Friday. I think I enjoy sticking to the 3 episodes a week a lot better. I'm always like looking for content, but I don't find myself scrambling as much for interesting content. So if I stumble across or somebody emails me a news piece for something, I'm like, I can easily leave that off on the back burner somewhere. So speaking of news, let's jump right to it, because this fall is going to mark the release of a new Ticket to Ride game. Here's the scoop on Ticket to Ride Berlin. Discover Unter den Linden and immerse yourself in the young cultural capital of Europe. Enjoy a sightseeing cruise on the River Spree, ride a bike through the Brandenburg Gate, or be amazed by the masterpieces displayed in the Pergamon Museum. In this fast-paced Ticket to Ride game, players compete to visit the city's most iconic locations while making efficient use of the various modes of transportation available in the German capital. Exclusive to Ticket to Ride Berlin is a new rule twist, which introduces 2 different piece types, streetcars and subways, offering a new and exciting challenge for both beginners and seasoned players. Ticket to Ride Berlin is for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, plays in around 15 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $24.95 when it arrives September 30th. We have ways of making you take public transportation. So Tessie Trekkie's throwing out a little bit of Jim in there. Ich ein Berliner. That's not what they wrote, but. By the way, Tessie Trekkie said, "Morning, Jooms." Guess what the friendly local postman delivered to them about 10 minutes ago? Guess we're going to find out. So, Tessie Trekkie also points out, I don't give off stoner vibes. No, never really have been I'm not saying I haven't partaken. I'm just saying I've tried many things in my life. Just not somebody who was like, oh man, yeah, I got to do that stuff all the time. Kathy Evans is joining us. Very nice to see Kathy. So, Madman says, another Ticket to Ride game? They had a Maryland expansion some time ago. As in Maryland, like Maryland, the state, or Maryland as in Monroe? Because it spells like Maryland. For all I know, the Madman might be sitting there using talk to text for chat. Madman also remembers back when I did Thursday night shows. Yes, the Madman's been with us for quite some time. So here we have a new Ticket to Ride game. And I've noticed over the, oh, there we go. The Madman says Markland. I noticed over the past few years, we've started to see these small scale, well, I mean, Ticket to Ride itself, the core game, is not a complex game at all. But we've started to see these kind of more smaller footprint, quicker playing, like localized editions, like New York. I think there's also a London, if I remember correctly. So Looking for a fun family game that's only going to take a few minutes to play? Keep your eyes peeled for Ticket to Ride Berlin. There's a new introductory starter set, which has arrived for Warhammer Underworld. Here's what I know. The mirrored city of Shadespire is a nightmare plane of illusions and madness, an ever-changing labyrinth of endless stairs, cramped streets, and soaring archways. Dare you enter and claim the glory that awaits? This starter set is the ideal way to get into Warhammer Underworld. With 2 complete warbands, the full rules, and all of the dice, tokens, and boards that you need to play, there's no better choice to begin your adventures in the ultimate competitive miniatures game. Their words, not mine. This set contains a 36-page Learn to Play rulebook, the complete Storm of Celestis warband, a company of Stormcast Eternals. Build your warband with 4 push-fit plastic models cast in colored plastic to ensure they stand out even when unpainted. Oh, blasphemy! Oh, unpainted miniatures. Also includes fighter cards and a number of warband-specific cards that let you unleash their noble strategies in battle. The complete Dripor's Wraith Creepers warband, a group of night haunt tormenting Shadespire. Build your warband with 4, once again, push-fit plastic models, also cast in colored plastic, a different colored plastic, of course, and create your decks with fighter cards and a number of warband-specific cards that let you harness their power in battle. There are 2 double-sided fold-out game boards that can be used to assemble your battlefields. Warhammer Underworld's tokens, including objectives, wound markers, glory points, and many more, as well as 8 dice, 5 attack dice and 3 defense dice, enough for the most devastating blows and desperate defenses. Once again, the Warhammer Underworld starter set is for 2 players. For ages 12 and up, battles play out in around 30 minutes, and the set carries an MSRP of $60. So I have to chuckle because on the box, there's kind of like logoing there. There's a blurb saying that over 200,000 copies of Warhammer Underworld have been sold. And then there's a Dice Tower stamp of approval. And I had to kind of chuckle because I thought to myself, if you sold 200, I should say, 1,000 copies of Warhammer Underworld, I don't know. Do you need the Dice Tower seal of approval? It's like, okay. But I also have to point out that on one hand, now I know that Games Workshop has had, Numenera and not Numenera, Necromunda is the name of the kind of like urban gang kind of skirmish miniatures that has gone through umpteen editions over the years. But I still get the sense that this is almost kind of Frostgrave-ish. I don't know. And I'll also point out I do not like the models. I mean, I'm not saying the miniatures don't look cool. I'm talking about I don't like the design scheme, especially for those what are they again? Stormcast Eternals. They look really cartoony and very bulky. So, did want to share this because this is a huge hit. And now there's a starter set if you would like to get into the underworld for Warhammer. I guess what I mean to say is I don't really like the designs for Age of Sigmar because this takes place during the Age of Sigmar, I believe. I like the old world Warhammer stuff way better. I like look better. It's just I don't know. I don't know. Although I wouldn't mind taking a peek at this. I'd be kind of curious. And the minis do look pretty cool. But of course, Games Workshop miniatures always look great because they get the best painters in there to work on their minis. So let's move on to some role-playing game news because an unusual looking role-playing game is returned with a new edition through Exalted Funeral. And I've got the skinny on Hieronymus from 12 Pins Press. Therefore, I think and judge it for thy best, thou follow me, and I will be thy guide, and lead thee hence through the eternal place, where thou shalt hear the desperate lamentations, shalt see the ancient spirits deconsolidate, who cry out each one for the second death. Hieronymus is a role-playing game designed for 2 to 5 players, where you'll create characters and use them to explore the worlds of Bosch's paintings. One of you will play as the game master who controls the worldscapes and the creatures in them and decides how they change in response to the character's actions. The rest of you will play a group of refugees fleeing an astral terror known only as the Follower. As it pursues you, thus being the follower, you rip your way through reality into strange worldscapes, and the follower is only ever a few steps behind. What will happen if it catches you? What strange worlds will it tear apart in its pursuit? And is there a way home? Released in 2021 to acclaim and a limited print run, Hieronymus is back and better than ever, with new maps and content, new character playbooks, and expanded guidance for both players and game runners, which makes this a much more complete experience. The 52-page A4 size softcover with PDF can be had for $25 over at the Exalted Funeral website. Very unusual, very unique. And I will say that you do see these kind of releases quite often from Exalted Funeral or through Exalted Funeral because, of course, they do a lot of the old school essential stuff and a lot of big releases. But they also do some like really off the wall, unique role playing games as well. So, as Flaming Heron points out, it looks interesting. Yeah, it caught my eye. That's why I'm sharing the news about it. That is for sure. Another item which caught my eye is now available in print and PDF from Mindjammer Press. That is the Lair of the Leopard Empresses. Here's what I know. It is the 50th year since the sheathing of the claw. Goblins cross-fallen to Hellwaith, and Lord Crying Death on Wings stands ready to invade. We trust to chance for our saviors, but where are the heroes who will save our land? Welcome to Zemeria, the lair of the Leopard. Yeah, let's mix both those words together, Jeff. The lair of the Leopard Empresses, or the kindreds of the cat, battle the return of the winged serpent, where the justicares of a long-dead warrior queen vie with cannibalistic leopard-riding elves for the thrones of the West, and where mighty wizards wield arcane magics to forge the future. This contains everything you need to play, including exciting kindreds and callings. Play a tiger centaur, a leopard-riding elf, which I guess makes you a cannibal, a beast walker of the saber-toothed tribe, and more. It includes the core Monsters rules and many new elaborations, full spell lists, including many new spells, a complete Zemurian bestiary, as well as maps, gazetteers, and encounters for Zemuria, and the wilderness of Toth, and the free city of Helagod, and much more. This is a complete standalone sword and sorcery fantasy role-playing game using the Monsters RPG rules. So you can consider this to be one of the Monsters family of games. The 399-page hardcover is available from DriveThruRPG for $60, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $25. And yes, I will point out this artwork has been manipulated by AI. It is not AI generated, but it has been manipulated. That was a note in the sell sheet information as well. So, gotta say, this sounds kind of cool, pretty interesting. It is from Mindjammer Press. So, this is written by Sarah Newton. And Sarah has done a lot of role playing games over the years, including, you guessed it, Mindjammer, which is a science fiction game of, I think it's one of those transhumanity sort of role playing games. But here's something I'm kind of curious about. So this is written for the Monsters rules, with keeping in mind that Monsters is essentially Tunnels and Trolls. It's both of them Ken St. Andre. And I think all in all, Monsters is, I don't know, 95% the same game. I mean, mechanically, I'm not talking about philosophically or thematically, because I think in Monsters, you play monsters. So they are. But I'm kind of curious because I thought Mindjammer Press also has their own fantasy role playing game. And I think it's called Magic and Monsters, something along those lines. So I was kind of curious why this is for basically the Tunnels and Trolls rule set. Kind of weird. Kind of weird. I'm not dissuading anybody from checking this out. I'm literally curious about why this is written for that rule set, or that rule set is incorporated into the layer of the Leopard Empresses. Tessie Treggy says Mindjammer is a high concept fate sci-fi in the vein of the culture novels. Well, originally Mindjammer was its own role-playing game. So I believe it may have been, there you go, Bill N is mentioning there's a Traveler version of Mindjammer 2. It's good. So John Muscola and Roger Perdome, as well as Bill N, are hanging with the gang. Welcome to all three of you. So let's wrap up with my final news piece, because there's a space opera role-playing game which has arrived from Lakeside Games. I've got the scoop on Black Star. Darkness has fallen over the galaxy. The once noble galactic Imperium now serves only the Grand Imperator and his inner circle. But the galaxy is vast. While the core worlds may be caught in the Imperium's grip, many more exist beyond the galactic core, in the barely charted expanse of space known as the Black Star Sector, a haven for criminals and unsavory characters of every stripe. The Black Star Sector is also where the resistance against the Imperium is strongest. If there's any hope of overthrowing the Imperium, the galaxy will need heroes, and those heroes will come from under a black star. Black Star is a rules-light science fiction role-playing game you can carry around in your pocket. Using the latest version of the Furious Games engine, first used in Magnum Fury and refined in Six Gun Fury, Someone's very furious. Black Star is designed for fast play and high flying action. Perfect for classic space opera and heroic science fantasy. The 52-page PDF is available over at DriveThruRPG for $4.95. Now, what film series does that game's cover remind me of? It's on the tip of my tongue. Let's see. Let's see that again. Yes. Oh, I know. Star Trek. Actually, it looks like it's kind of a cool little rules light space opera game. $4.95. Come on, it won't kill you. That price won't kill you. All right, so that is it for tonight's tabletop gaming news. Of course, I was just talking about DriveThruRPG. Don't forget, the gaming gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So, if you happen to be going to, I don't know, DriveThruRPG or Dungeon Masters Guild or Storyteller's Vault, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. All those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a thumbs up. But if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, you can always swing on over to paypal.me/thegaminggang and making a small donation. And thankfully, there are a lot of you out there who use those banner ads and or stop by paypal.me. It is much appreciated. Thank you very, very much. Flaming Heron says, oh, Star Trek. Yes, I see it now. Flaming Heron says, do a Chum a favor, like the video. So we are going to be diving on into Cyberpunk Red Black Chrome in just a few moments. Certainly far sooner than we have looked at the other Cyberpunk Red releases this week. But there is something I did want to talk about before we jump into that. And I got to say, it is so difficult to keep reviewers around. Really, really difficult. And I don't know if it's because people think it's so easy to review stuff and they reach out, because I am always on the lookout for role-playing game reviewers, because I have far too many publishers out there who want reviews of their PDFs. And I really don't do reviews of PDFs anymore because I like to do video reviews now. I just find it, personally, I find it easier. I know a lot of people find it far easier just to do written reviews. I don't know, I'm so used to doing video for everything. I find it easier to do that. So always have these publishers out there wanting reviews of PDFs. And for the most part, I'm pretty generous with my reviewers. And if you're a reviewer with the Gaming Gang, you don't just get a PDF copy of what you happen to be reviewing. You get a PDF copy of what anyone is reviewing. So it's just one of the benefits, I guess, one of the perks of being a reviewer for the Gaming Gang. So we've had Sammy Uhas for quite some time. Sammy's still, knock on wood, with us doing reviews. Most of her focus is usually on the Paizo Inc. stuff. And she also does reviews of Onyx Path Publishing releases because she's a big fan of the the new one. I don't think they call it the Storyteller system. I think it's got a different name. I thought Story something, but anyway, regardless. So Sammy's still around, but I have brought in other reviewers, and you know what? If people have things come up in life, completely understand. Or if people think, hey, you know, it must be easy to just be able to read through a 400-page PDF and then write a review of it and do that, you know, every couple of weeks. That's not as easy as you may think. Yeah, it's the reading part, I think, that gets in the way. And the thing I've got an issue with, and this has happened multiple times now, where I've brought somebody in, they've provided a couple of reviews or more, 2, 3 reviews, and then they ask to review, or I offer a system for them to review if they want to review, you know, if they want that to be like one of their like fortes or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah. So I'll get a good amount of PDFs for them to check out and do reviews of, and then I never hear from them again. Never. Just brought somebody on. They did a couple of reviews. They were fine, as Game Master's Hobby points out. And I think I said hello to Game Master's Hobby. If not, hello, Game Master's Hobby. So Sammy's reviews are amazing. Yeah, Sammy does really detailed reviews. I mean, there's been a couple of times I've actually emailed her and said, you know, you don't have to be, you know, your reviews don't have to be that long, because a lot of times she puts together long reviews, and they're, and at least in my opinion, they're very thoughtful reviews. She's probably a little more forgiving than I am. So Game Master's Hobby said, yes, I did say hello to them. You know how I am about people in chat. You know, I've said it time and time again. I know this show is an acquired taste, and I want to make sure everybody feels welcome. I never want anybody to feel like they're being ignored or anything like that. So anyway, so they did a couple of reviews, and then I asked them if they'd be interested in maybe doing reviews for our Talsorians. The Witcher, as a spider just dropped, didn't even use a web, just went, watch it go right on past, and it went right past the lens. So you may have seen a little blob zip past real quick. So anyway, I asked, hey, would you be interested in reviewing The Witcher? And they said, hey, you know what? I actually have the core book. I think it's pretty cool. What the hell? I have something else that just dropped down. What do I have? So, like spider paratroopers? It's the kingdom of the spiders. Well, you know what? I've been spraying like peppermint around, because I don't think it kills them, but it's supposed to chase them off. But the weird thing is, I didn't spray any peppermint. Anyway, back to the story. So I asked them, hey, would you mind reviewing some Witcher stuff? Because our Talsorian Games has sent me these Witcher releases, which we did the Witcher week not too long ago. Oh, yeah, I've got the core book. That's great. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Sent him along, never heard from him again. Shot an email, said, hey, you know, it's been a month. I haven't heard from you. Just making sure everything's all right. Nothing. emailed again and said, you know, I haven't heard anything, so you got to get back to me. Otherwise, I'm going to revoke your access to the reviewers folder. Nothing. So, about 6 weeks since I had heard from them, and I finally sent an email and said, hey, you know what? I can't have you as a reviewer because, for one, I assume you're blowing me off anyway. But I said, you're not welcome as a reviewer any longer. So it's like, what the? Just don't get it. Now, it'd be something completely different if somebody says, oh, hey, I bit off more than I could chew, or, you know, I've got these things going on. I never have a problem with that. I have had reviewers work with the gaming gang, and that's happened where they're like, you know, I thought this would be, you know, a lot easier, blah, blah. No problem. But then I've had others who just disappear. And, you know, I don't know what it is. And they're not young kids. They're people my age or around my age, or at least adults. And I just don't understand it. How fucking rude could you possibly be? It's like, trust me, I'm always on the lookout for reviewers, but it's not as if a reviewer comes on board and it's like, wow, you're really doing me a favor, because what they get out of it is far more than what I get as far as a single review. So I don't know. I just scratch my head about just the ethics of people these days. I say morals because it's not really morals, but it's sort of like, you know, I grew up, it was like, if I said I was going to do something, damn it, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that that gets done. And I try to get it done. Now, is it possible it doesn't? Of course. And then I feel really bad about it and I apologize profusely about it. I wouldn't just be like, yeah, whatever. Fuck you, Jeff. Dirty plot. Just don't know. So, and I'm easy to work with. I really am. I mean, you know, I will, you know, critique someone's review. I had somebody sent, they wanted to be a reviewer, and they sent the review, and then I edited it because that's what I am. I'm the editor in chief, right? Founder, editor in chief. And I sent it back and I said, yeah, it should look more like this. Never heard from him again. Must have pissed him off. But I think part of it is there are far too many people out there who think that a paragraph is 1 or 2 sentences. Now, you could have that break for a single sentence, but not the entire page. Paragraphs are supposed to be 3 or more sentences. So yes, I am a bit of a what the Strunken White Book, Elements of Style. I've got a copy of it. I had 2 copies of it, and I loaned one out. So, Man says, I'm the same way, Jeff. If I say I'm going to do something, I try my damnedest to do it. Also, Man said that it's paratroopers parachuting behind the lines prior to the spider invasion, like that 1970s movie. Just god awful. And I'm not talking Kingdom of the Spiders. I'm talking, I think it was the Giant Spider Invasion or Invasion of the Giant Spider. Whatever. Tessie Trekkies actually looking through black chrome. I bet you that's what showed up a few minutes before the show started. Alrighty, so we are going to be taking a look at Cyberpunk Red Black Chrome in just a couple of moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
And now, intermission. Refreshment time. The potato chips are extra good. Have some. Steaming hot coffee. All kinds. The creamiest ice cream. Delicious, piping hot chocolate.
Here's one for you. When was the longest heavyweight title fight, huh? Do you know? In 1906, won by Joe Gans in the 42nd round. Now, how about baseball? When was the first time 7 bases were stolen by one guy in one game? Now, I'll tell you when. 1881 by old Piano Legs Gore. Now, listen to this. When was the record set for the longest collegiate field goal? Back in 1882, 65 yards by Jimmy Haxall.
All right, here's one for you. When was that beer bottled?
What?
Well, let's see. Exactly 22 days ago, on the second shift, by Joe Zebro.
Ah, come on, it doesn't say that.
Well, sure it does. Right here, see? You read the little notches, kind of like Roman numerals. Month, day, year, second shift. Most beers don't tell.
Yeah, but who's this Joe Zebro guy?
I'm Joe Zebro.
You see, we drink all we can. The rest we sell.
Wilkins Coffee's good coffee. Boy, what a bad commercial. The commercial may be bad, but the coffee's wonderful.
Penny Bright lives and looks like you. Penny Bright can be posed like you. Penny Bright even wears clothes like you. She's your delight, your Penny Bright. She can stand up, she can sit down, bend her arms and cuddle you tight. She has a car at her own front door. She's a real doll that you'll adore. She goes to sleep in her own bedroom, likes to have her hair done too. She goes to school the same as you. She even likes to cook like you do too.
Penny Bright comes with this lovely wardrobe case for her beautiful outfits. Yes, Penny Bright is wonderful. She can even be posed like you. What's more,
Penny Bright has a bedroom like you, a beauty parlor and a kitchen too, a nice schoolroom and a car so new. She's your delight, your Penny Bright.
get wonderful new Penny Bright by Topper.
And now, on with the show.
So let me get this straight. Penny Bright goes to school and she's learning 2 + 2 is 4. I think that's what it showed. And she drives a car. What? Zoinks. There you go. Look, Bill Ed jumps into the same thing. Goes to school like you and drives a car. So I do want to ask if anyone is having any, now I saw Tessie Trekkie had mentioned that they are having a problem with audio skips. And I'm taking a look here and I'm seeing that we've got dropped frames. And it's looking like a pretty decent amount of dropped frames. So I'm kind of curious, and I'm looking at my like kilobits per second, and it's like jumping and dropping. So it's like jumping to over 19,000, and then it drops to 0. And then it jumps back up to 19,000, where it's supposed to be running at about 9. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see if I can change something. See if I can shake this up. Although it is possible that this is a YouTube thing. So we shall see. Because the thing is, I could stop and reconnect, but there's no guarantee that it's going to change anything. And there's no guarantee that it's not going to screw up the stream, the recording of the stream. So I'm going to try something here. So John says they had that happen earlier. They don't know why. Bill N says they've had a couple of brief freezes. Okay, so right now as you're watching, is everything running fine? Because it's looking like so far in the show, we have dropped 2% of the frames. That's actually quite a lot. Not as bad as some nights when we had some like major issues where it was dropping like 60% of the frames. So let me know in chat if the stream seems to be all right. And we shall just continue. Because if I stop the stream, then the chat is gone, and then we have a new chat we have to jump into, and so all right. So everybody's saying yeah, it's fine. Okay, cool. So unfortunately, like I said, I got to be honest. I'm taking a guess. It is a YouTube thing because normally, yeah. See, it's super weird. It's like, I'll give you an example, then we'll jump into the first look. Okay, 0, 18,000 change. 0, 17,000 change. 0. It's like, the hell's going on? But the weird thing is, there's like a color-coded bar there for like the health of the stream. And it's just showing it's green. So I don't know. I don't know. So we will continue along because tonight I am going to be wrapping up our Cyberpunk Red Week with a first look at Black Chrome from our Talsorian Games. It's written by James Hutt, Jay Parker, Turbo, yes, that is their name, Jay Gray, Ann Morrison, Chris Spivey. Hey, Chris Spivey was listening to the show the other night. Maybe he's listening to this one. I don't know. But he had actually tweeted out about it. And I think he also had shared it on Facebook. We also have Fran Stewart and Linda Evans. You mean Dynasty Linda Evans? I don't think so. This 168-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $40, or you can grab just the PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG for $20. So let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Black Chrome. So I believe this is kind of a gear book, an equipment book. So if you're a player of Cyberpunk Red, you should be fine because a lot of this is going to be player facing anyway, if not maybe all of it. So before we jump in, do want to mention that the fine folks over at our Talsorian Games have provided me with all of the Cyberpunk Red releases we've been taking a look at this week. But neither I nor anyone else associated with the gaming gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. These days, it's important you know that. Let's take a look at the back here. Do you crave chrome so black it reflects your oily soul? How did they know I have an oily soul? Black like the night, night like the market of your desires. Chrome is the style and the substance. It's not what you can do, it's how you do it. How chrome are you, Choomba? When you're bleeding on the edge, you've got the accoutrements. Why did they throw that word in? All the accessories You don't need them, but you've got them. Just to make a statement, because you're chrome. Black chrome is what any good edge runner aspires to. Nothing shines like it used to. And this night market is invitation only. John Mascola says, ooh, I need this book. Cool artwork on the front. Very nice. So we got new weapons, new gear, new vehicles, and more. But wait, there's more. Of course, we are not going to look at each and every page. So here is the cover. It's very cool. All right, so one of the things that I, like I said, I had started taking a peek at Cyberpunk Red's core rulebook. I haven't gotten too far into it. But isn't there like some, like, it's a virtual reality game that's like a big hit in Night City? Something about elves? I thought that was pretty wild. You're Cyberpunk, you're going to love Black Chrome. Why? It's got everything a Cyberpunk needs. Guns, cyberware, gear, vehicles. Each has been painstakingly crafted by the finest techs to bring digital tears to your cyber eyes, and has been properly weighted to keep your campaign in balance. To build this treasure trove you hold in your hands, we bent all the rules, but broke none that didn't deserve it. With all this new Chrome, complete package character generation will probably take a little longer, but it's gonna be worth it. Customization is the new black, and as you'll notice, black is the new Chrome. What about orange, man? What happened to orange? So we're gonna get a breakdown of what is Black Chrome? And it looks like a little bit of history here. Yeah, well, that was one of the things I thought was pretty interesting. There we go, Bill and Elflines Online. That's it. Tessie Trekkie says page 12 has Poke Solos. Well, we'll take a look at page 12, I promise. We will not skip past page 12, because, of course, we're not looking at each and every page here. Hopefully, this is sharp. Because, strangely enough, once again, talking about how streaming to YouTube is sometimes a little bit of a crapshoot. Nothing has changed around here. Tuesday nights, everything looked pretty good. I always check out the videos after they're done processing and that. It's usually the next day. Looked pretty good. Everything looked pretty sharp. Last night's show, I was like, wow, there's a lot of pixelization. And it wasn't just this book. It was me here too. So these are two different cameras. So that was something that was either my internet or YouTube. And I'll be very honest, I think I would blame YouTube on that. Okay, so we get a breakdown of what's going on. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chumbas out there. Isn't this taking place like 2043-ish? Isn't that sort of the timeline that this takes place? Because I know that Mike Pondsmith talks about the kind of like the evolution of cyberpunk to this point, and how he sort of does these like 10-year story arcs. So you had Cyberpunk 2020. See, and the funny thing is, most people, I think, only know of like Cyberpunk 2020 on. But there was actually, I'm pretty sure there was originally just Cyberpunk, because this has been around quite a while. Okay, so Digital Gladiator. This is the apps. This is what Tessie Trekkie is talking about. Do you have a grudge against a rival? Hesitant to shoot it out in the street? Want to hit them where it really hurts, their wallet? Look no further than the Digital Gladiator app from Segataro. I think that's what it says. Designed for head-to-head play, the app links two agents, allowing the users to duke it out in a virtual arena. The prize? The winner's agent is safe, while the loser's agent gets hit with a power surge, destroying it. If the loser was playing using internal agent cyberware, it also fries their brain. Wow. I think I would maybe try to sort of actually fight face to face. I don't know if I'd want to have my brain fried because I lost a game in an app. So Tessie Trekkie says 2043 is the red, and this is 2045. Cool. I thought, like I said, I thought it was like the 2040s. All right, so we've got apps. Then we get into cyberware. Hardened cyber eye casing. Integrated cyber deck upgrade. Cyber fingers. A bullet storage cyber finger. A flashlight cyber finger. Lockpick cyber finger. Oh, I'm just picturing Ghost in the Shell. One of the series. Not. Oh no, actually, in the first movie, the dispatchers, their fingers all expand out. And here we have fashion and armor. The Dirk combat jacket. Oh, you know, one thing I meant to mention, coming back from the brief intermission, was there was that Utica beer commercial, and both of those actors were actually television actors. One of them was a very famous character actor who, for the life of me, I could not remember their name. And the other, the guy who says, oh yeah, well, I'm Bill whoever, and I work for Utica Beer. That's, you know, how he knew when it was bottled and who bottled it. That was David Hartman, who was the original male co-host of Good Morning America. Zoinks! And he's still around. I mean, he's not involved in the industry, but he's still kicking. So, because I remember him as the host, as a teenager, and that it wasn't like I watched Good Morning America, but sometimes it'd be on TV in the morning, and I think he was like the male co-host for like a dozen years. I think like 75 to 87, maybe. The Mecha Man motorcycle helmet. And then we got the Mecha Man smart glove. General Gear Entertainment. The Killstrom Banshee microphone. Very expensive. That's funny. The Banshee has been called the clearest wireless microphone headset on the market today. In addition to crisply. Yeah. Capturing vocals, it automatically filters out background noise and links up to your agent. Bill N asks, was it Carl Malden? No, that was not Carl Malden. That name I would have remembered. No, he was a character actor. He was never like the star of a show. He was always like a guest star on all these various different TV series. He popped up in movies from time to time, but he was more a TV guy. I wish I could think of something off the top of my head he was in. Unfortunately, I can't, because he was probably in 300 different episodes of stuff. So we've got security gear. We have the K-Tech Doberman 500. Developed for Sovoil, the Doberman 500 is K-Tech's answer to unreliable security labor. Hey, just in case you didn't know, K-Tech is actually it's what K-Tel became. I doubt very highly. This four-legged combat drone is designed to guard important people and deliver maximum punishment to anyone who dares to make a move against them. And unlike human employees, it can't call in sick, take a bribe, or fall asleep on guard duty. So it is a luxury item. Yes. This looks very cool. I'm glad we started to get some artwork because we were going through, where was it? I think it was like with the apps and it just was showing like the logos for the companies like this. I was like, okay, I'm sure we're going to see some artwork, right? Mr. Biscuit multi-food processor from Everest Ventureware. So we have linear frames. The LF001 SWAT linear frame, the first major security product to hit the international market from Polska Cyber Technologies. Oh, it's Polska. A Polish cyber tech and security company was the LF001 SWAT, a tactical linear frame designed for quick insertion and mobility under unusual circumstances. This book is pretty cool, everybody, so far. Oh, there we go. Here's our Sovoil. Making everything easier. Obviously, they're Russian. Because, most of us in the know realize that Russia isn't really anything but a gas station with an army. So John Muscola says, bad dad joke, Jeff. Tessie Trekkie pointed out, unlike the original Chromebooks, I don't think this has the cyber mail enhancement, thankfully. I would take a guess that would have been avoided. I know Sammy reviewed Cyberpunk 2020, and there were a lot of things she liked, but there were a lot of things that she had a problem with. And of course, it wasn't only like, only our Talsorian Games was sexualizing the female characters in the role-playing games. No, it was everywhere when that game came out. So you couldn't fault them, but it just hadn't aged well. And that is certainly not something that we see these days, at least from what I've looked at with our Talsorian Games. So now we got some vehicles. Let's take a look at something more exciting. There you go, the Harvey 100. The Harvey 100 was marketed as the motorcycle for everyone, but became better known for its number of cross-used parts from older motorcycles, with one reviewer dubbing it the Frankenbike. But it was this feature of its design that also drove sales. As they grew in popularity, it became standard for owners to take their Harvey 100 apart and customize it. So you can get the Harvey 100 as a road bike with a smuggling upgrade, and a road bike with an onboard machine gun and rocket pod. I'll take that last one. The Paladin 500. Now, this looks like it would be out of Car Wars. Paladin 500 is a Turbo Neon Motors premier offering, starting with old Max Interceptor frames bought wholesale. The garage's engineers reworked the transmission and engine, polishing its performance to a mirrored sheen and making other improvements along the way. They mentioned the Interceptor. It does sort of have, if you kind of got rid of this stuff here, it does sort of have a look like the Interceptor from Mad Max. Give you a moment to take a peek there. Wow, got a lot of vehicles in here. Then we get our weapons. So we've got our explosives. The Kill Chip 100 micro bomb. The origin of the Kill Chip 100 has been a mystery since the first one exploded ahead during the Fourth Corporate World War. Yeah, that's a mysterious chip blew that guy's head right off. Or woman's head. I'm not trying to be sexist. Outlet explosive. It's just like a standard outlet adapter, but it's actually a small yet powerful micro explosive. When plugged into a wall socket, the outlet can be set to detonate via a remote trigger. The explosive burns hot and, in most cases, makes it look like victims died due to an electrical fire. Wow. Got some melee weapons. The Ranger Combat Boomerang. Marketed toward mountain troops and recon operators, this deadly boomerang is not only razor sharp, but also possesses a unique guidance system. The thrower simply locks onto a target using targeting scope cyberware, gives the ranger a good toss in the right direction, and the boomerang guides itself toward the target and then back to the thrower. And now we'll get into some guns. The Federated Arms Pepper Shaker. It's a combat submachine gun, popular for its comfortable shooting experience, despite only being capable of auto fire. Wow. So, Flaming Heron's pointing out there's some serious skipping going on. Strangely enough, though, we have not dropped any frames since I took a peek earlier. So it is not coming from my end here. So don't know. Fleming Heron says, guns, guns, and more guns. Yes. The American gamers out there will enjoy this section. The Gunmart Special. Gunmart, your go-to vendor for burner firearms. I do like the sense of humor that kind of runs through here. The Special is a no-frills polymer one-shot designed to be abused until it breaks. The pistol appears to be military grade, but the exterior design hides the rather cheaply functioning mechanics inside. It shatters quickly under pressure. The Gunmart Special is one of the most popular weapons available in Night City due to large production runs and availability in vendits throughout the combat zones. And just go up to a vending machine and buy it. The Special is a poor quality, exotic, heavy pistol. Whenever you roll a critical failure, a 1, when firing the weapon, it destroys itself beyond repair. So I am not, I think it's Edge for Life. Taking a guess on that. Is joining us in chat. I believe this is a first-time visit. Sly Blue Demon is with us. I think I saw Quantum Phase Dragon jumping into chat at one point. But our newcomer says they just got here. They tried getting into Cyberpunk real bad, found it overwhelmingly complex, but then they say they're an idiot too. Well, you know what? I'm wondering. I know there is the Witcher Easy mode to introduce people to The Witcher from our Talsorian Games. Isn't there a Cyberpunk RED Easy mode? A PDF that's available? I thought there was. Because I know the Easy mode, even though I haven't taken a peek at it, for The Witcher it's not just, oh, well, here's just the basic rules. It does actually kind of streamline things to make it easier to wrap your head around. So for some reason, I thought there was also one for Cyberpunk Red, but I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. The Militech Fox dual ammo pistol. This clever pistol was originally produced by Militech, but has since seen wide-scale reproduction from other weapon manufacturers. Obviously enough, it fires 2 different kinds of ammo. The Pursuit Security Incorporated Crowd Buster. It's got a bullhorn on it? Oh no, it's a shrieker. I was going to say, what would be the point of having a bullhorn? It's not going to disperse a crowd. I guess that shrieker would, though. Right. So then we have some smaller entries into our firearms. Then we have Economics 101, getting stuff in the time of the red. Something else I've gotten a kick out of taking a peek through these Cyberpunk Red releases are these ads. We notice that it seems like when we come to an end of a section that we get ads, which I find kind of cool. A nice way to immerse you into the setting. Right, so it looks like we're going to have advice and rules on how you actually purchase this stuff. So we've got night markets. So it looks like we're going to have a few different night markets here with NPCs. The wood chipper. And then we get a map of one. We get maps of a few. We're getting maps of a bunch of stuff here. Wonder if we're in an appendix. Possibly. No, that was that section. That was a night market section. Then we have black chrome lists. It's going to break down all of that gear in tables. So there we go. Cool. Very cool. Yes. Interesting. Now, I found it kind of interesting as well, where people were commenting or tweeting when I had pointed out that Black Chrome was on the agenda for tonight. They're saying, oh, can't wait, because that's the only Cyberpunk book they did not have. So I should also point out, to my knowledge, that our Talsorian Games does a lot of digital releases for Cyberpunk Red. And I also think they've got a good amount of free digital content on their website. I will point out I am by far not the most well-versed regarding our Talsorian Games, but as you see over the past few weeks, we are going to have some reviews of some Witcher content, and of course now, Cyberpunk Red. So here I've got the Netrunning Deck, and I apologize, I forgot to take a look to see what this runs as far as the MSRP if you buy the physical deck. I think it's $6 on DriveThruRPG, which would lead me to believe that this is 12, but I don't know. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to zoom in so we can get a much closer look at this deck. Wow, that was good content, huh? Yeah. That is as far as I can zoom in, because my camera is now pretty high up above the table here. When a netrunner locates an access point and slots in, they enter a different world, a digital realm where black ice patrols virtual floors and demons stand ready to activate the defenses that'll flatline the crew in meat space. Gotta say the text is very small. So Tessie Treggy says they do a monthly digital DLC. It's normally 6 to 10 page PDFs detailing something niche. And then don't they collect them in like an interface? I think they call the releases interface. And I think those are available as well. I don't know if they're actual print, like physical books that they collect everything up in. All right, so we've got various different decks. Not decks. It's all one deck. We have different cards here. And I believe that the game master actually builds a well, I don't want to say network. Come on, help me out. Help me out, Cyberpunk RED fans out there. Net architecture, thank you. There we go. Bill N to the rescue. Bill N says, I love laying out net architecture with the deck so the net runner can look at it and plan while other players take actions. So we have passwords, file, control node, control node, control node. And these are the difficulty values. If I remember correctly, I think that's what the DV stands for, right? And I would take a guess that the game master just puts a little marker on it to indicate what it is. So is it 6, 8, 10, 12? Tessie Trekkie says the interface are printed yearly from memory. Flaming Heron says they have to admit doing net running focused parts is their favorite part of games. Oh, so were you a fan of the net runner game? I never had an opportunity to play it. I know a lot of people really dug it. All right, so we have different demons, the Balron, the Ifrit, the Imp. Then we have Black Ice, Sabretooth, a couple of killers, now more than a couple, 3 killers, some dragons, some wisps, skunks, scorpion, some ravens, the lich. They threw an E on the end. Usually lich isn't spelt with that E. The Kraken. Unleash the Kraken. Some hellhounds. Quite a few of those. Giant. Asps. I said asp with a P. And these are attacks. I would take a guess. This is our netrunner would be using these. Bill N will come to the rescue, I'm sure. We got the Fizz Bolt, Super Glue, Poison Flatline. Sly Blue Demon says, is 1,000 eddies supposed to be expensive? I think we saw, wasn't something in Black Chrome like 5,000? And it said that it was luxury. So it was a luxury item. Got the Hellboat, the Deck Rash, Sword, Banhammer. There you go. The chat moderators should get a copy of this card. Bust down on anybody they need to ban, which thankfully has only happened twice. Shield, Flak, Armor Worm, Speedy Gonzalez. Cassandra, you gotta be careful with the copyright. See ya. And the Eraser. So all of these cards make up the Cyberpunk deck running deck. Or deck, not deck running, net running deck. Wow, Jeff. It's like, so yes, once again, this is the Cyberpunk net running, not deck running. Net running deck from our Talsorian Games. So that is going to wrap up our Cyberpunk Red Week here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch. Once again, a big thank you to the fine folks over at our Talsorian Games for sending along all of these various different items that we have taken a peek at on these 3 shows. And of course, there will be reviews in the very near future. There shall be reviews. It's like there shall be blood, right? There shall be reviews. So next week, and always remember, when I tell you what's coming up the following week, it's not written in stone, because it is possible that something shows up where it's like, oh my gosh, I got to get this out. Because it's like, oh, we'll bring in a bunch of people to watch. It doesn't happen very often, but you know, like if Wizards of the Coast releases something for D&D, you know how it is. Anyway, but most likely, next Tuesday, I remembered, we're going to take a look at the finale of the Mercy of the Icons adventure arc for Coriolis. We're going to take a look at Wake of the Icons. Then on Wednesday, we're going to have a Wargame Wednesday as I unbox and dive into Clash of Sovereigns from GMT Games. This is a wargame about the Austrian succession, which was in the 18th century, if I remember correctly. This looks kind of cool. Looks like it's card driven. Looks like we've got point-to-point movement here. So we'll be checking that out. And then on the Thursday show, a week from today, we're going to take a look at the Mirror of Malatesta, which is available from Exalted Funeral. So we're going to be taking a peek at that. Of course, I already mentioned, if you're a fan of Call of Cthulhu, you are going to want to stay tuned this weekend because I've got some goodies on the horizon. Yes, I certainly do. 2 videos that deal with Call of Cthulhu, and I'll mention one of them in just a moment. So that is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, don't forget, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live, currently Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings, right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also inform you when I upload other videos, such as this weekend's review of Call of Cthulhu Nameless Horrors 2nd Edition from Chaosium Inc. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang, be sure to visit when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel. See, I was so excited that I remembered all 3 of my overlays tonight. Didn't forget, and then started going to another scene, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, that's right. That's why that's popping up there. I forgot. So I'm just so excited inside because I was like, damn, 2 days in a row, I screwed those up. That's what happens when you Go from Monday through Wednesday, suddenly Tuesday through Thursday. When you are not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you will not find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Everybody out there, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is, as well as the rest of the week and the weekend. I will be back next Tuesday. So, of course, those of you who were watching live, thank you kindly. If you watched live, took part in chat, bigger thank you, because not only are you keeping me company, you're keeping each other company. But then again, I know a lot of you out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you watch live or on Memorex. I really do appreciate each and every one of you taking time out to watch any of the videos here on the channel. All right, until I see you next time, here's hoping you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.
Oh, hey, you're still here. That's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check